Good afternoon, my dear student. As you know, in the last class, I already completed that about the remaining portion on the chapter 2, and we already discussed about the overpopulation, underpopulation, what is the population composition, population pyramids, and the rural and urban area. I hope everyone have to understand this all the portion. Now, today we are going to solve the exercise portion or the exercise part from the chapter 2. Now, first you see in your book that the page number 38, there is given different questions. First is take the correct option. Dash percent of Indians are live in urban areas. Now, how many percent of Indians are live in urban areas? You have to write. This one is the 30%. That 30% are live in the urban areas. 30% Indians are live in urban areas. Second one is the dependent population is below 15 years and above. How much here? The dependent population below 50 years and above is 65 years. Okay, this is 65 years. The third one is the sex ratio is the number of females per how much? Per 1000 male. So third is per 1000 male. Fourth is the current growth rate of the world is around dash percent. How much percent? Current growth rate of the world? Just write this one, 1.5%. Next, number 5, of the 10 most populous country, 6 are located. What is the 6th country, the populous one? That one is the Pakistan, that is located in Asia continent. Okay, so these are the answers for this first one, number A. Number B, fill in the blanks. A study of population changes in the geographical area over the time is known as the population dynamics. Which one is the heading? This one is the answer, first one. Population dynamics. Second one, the number of females per 1000 male in a year is known is the sex ratio. And the third one, the age of elderly peoples dependent in India is 65 years. Number 4, growth rate is the change in population expressed as the percentage or curve line. By through the percentage also we can show the growth rate is being changed. So and also by through the curve line also we can be represent. And in India, the highest literacy rate in which year? In the last census is the 2011. On that time, the highest literacy rate in India in the year of 2011, the last census when it occurred. Now, next is the true false. The urban areas have less population than the rural areas. Is it true that urban area have the less population than the rural areas from the village areas? No, it's a false. Because urban area have more population than the rural areas. Second one, the literacy is the ability to read and write. Is it true? Because literacy means not only read, you have to write also. So both the read and write together, it's known as the literacy. So is that true? Now next is the current growth rate of the world population is the 2.5%. No, we already read this one, that the current growth rate of the world is the 1.5%. It's not the 2.5. 1.5 is a false. Next, an underdeveloped country has a broad-based population pyramid. A underdeveloped country, generally, their population pyramid is not the very broad, it's not very large. It's a very narrow type population pyramid. So it's the false. And the last, mega cities have a population over 10 million inhabitants. Is that true? Because in the mega city, the number of people or over the 10 million people are living in a mega city. Now see, you can understand that what the A, B, C, this question answers. Now see the number D, that is the differential. First is the population density and the population growth. What is the difference between them? You know that the population density means how many people are live in an area in per square kilometer. How many people are live in an area per square kilometer. This ratio is known as the population density. Now what is population growth? That population growth is the extensive amount or the increasing amount of population. That is known as the population growth. Again, I repeat it. What is the population growth? The increasing amount of population of a particular place is known as the population growth. Now, density is represented by through the percentage and population growth is represented by the numbers. Listen properly. the density is represented by through the percentage, and by the percentage, the density whenever we write, that is a density is a 402% per square kilometer. So by this way, per square kilometer, 402 people, okay, that is represented by the percentage, but is a density always is represented by the numbers. Now the next is growth. And the next is difference between birth rate and death rate. What are the difference between the birth rate and death rate? That birth rate means how many childs are take birth in the per 1,000 people in a same year or in a 1 year. That is called the birth rate. What is the birth rate? That how many child take birth in a year between the 1,000 people. That is called the birth rate. And what is the death rate? The same way that the how many people are died in a year in the 1,000 people. It known as the death rate. Now the second difference is if the one place birth rate is increased, that means the overpopulation. A result is the overpopulation or the population increase. And if in one area the death rate is increased, that means the population will decrease. And the last is the birth rate. Generally, it increases. Those are the areas that where the peoples are not being concerned in the developing countries. And those are the death rate. It will be very less in the those are the developed country. So by this way, you have the difference. You have to be right. Now the third one is the immigrant and immigrant. The last only I am telling you that IMMI, immigrant or the immigrant. So what are those peoples during which type of migration process? The peoples, only the people, which people they enter in one particular place. Enter in one particular place. These peoples are known as the immigrant, and those peoples are leave one place, left one place, and they left one place and go in another place. These peoples are known as the immigrant. Again I repeat, IMMI. This immigrant means when the peoples are entered in one place, in which type of migration process, that is called the immigrant. And when the peoples are exist from one place or lived one place and went to the other place, they are known as the immigrant. And due to the immigration process, means the IMMI, this immigration process, the number of population of that place is being increased, and due to the immigration, the number of population is being decreased because people exist or move from this place, so population is being decreased. And in immigration time, population is being increased. And the third is that in this immigration IMMI, it occurred generally in the cities and town area, and the immigration it's occur in the village area. So these are the differentiate between the immigrant and immigrant. Now the last is the dependent and the productive population. What are the dependent population? Those are the age group peoples are not able to do work. They have to depend on the working age peoples. This type of the peoples are known as the dependent people. Like their age is the 0 to 15 years or their age is above 65 years old. This type of peoples are known as the dependent peoples or the dependent peoples and the dependent population. Now those are the peoples their age is their age between 15 to 60 or 59 or between 60. This type of peoples they can do hard work. So this type of the peoples are known as the productive population because this type of population are very useful for a country for their more production. So that's why they are known as the productive population. Now in which country that the more amount of productive peoples are living, this country the economic condition much better, and in those countries the dependent peoples are in more amount. These countries the economic condition are not so much good, and those countries their dependent peoples are less. They are known as the developing countries, and those countries their dependent peoples are in more. Dependent peoples are being more. They are known as the in those countries the productive peoples are being more amount. They are known as the developing country, and those countries their dependent peoples in more amount. They are known as the developing country. So by this way you can write the differentiate between this all the terms. Now see the next number E. That is how fast the world population is growing. Means the world population how it increased. What are the reasons for that? And also how to understand the underpopulation. That all I discussed in my last you can see the last classes. You have to understand it. What is the population explosion? Population explosion means the number suddenly in one place that the population it being increased. It known as the population explosion. Means when the suddenly of an area the population is being increased is known as the population explosion. And why the population density is higher in some parts of the world? Because you know what are the reasons for that: better job facility, better medical facility, better educational facility. These are the different reasons are responsible where the population density is more. And the last is the name of the top 10 mega cities. But the name of the mega cities, that is already the names are given in the page number 34 in downwards. The mega cities name that you have to write down it. Okay. So these all the questions, and number 8 also, those are the questions are given that I already discussed in my previous classes. So you have to write down all the questions. So what is your homework? That you have to write your homework. Kindly you have to write down it. What is your homework? That number D, E and F. These question answers you have to write down in your copy properly. Number D, E and F. So I hope you have to understand all the things. And then also, if you have any confusion, any doubt related from this chapter, you have to message me in WhatsApp if you have any doubt. Otherwise, in YouTube also you can contact with me. So for today, up to here. Next day we have to discuss more.